somewhere between the energy we radiate and the way the world perceives it, lies a secret most women never truly understand: the fact that men sense authority in a woman long before words are ever spoken. And I'm going to tell you exactly why and how you can own it so effortlessly, so naturally, that they feel it before they even know your name. Imagine walking into a room and noticing how their attention shifts. Almost instinctively, their posture subtly changes. Their voice softens without them realizing why. That, my dear sisters, is the power of female authority. The quiet magnetism that commands respect, even awe, simply because it exists within you. I remember sitting in a room full of executives, all eyes supposedly on the meeting agenda. And yet I noticed him, the one who thought he was untouchable, the one who believed charm and ego would sway the room, leaning forward. His energy drawn, subtly fascinated, curious, even a little nervous. Because I did not seek approval. I did not compete. I simply owned my space, my energy, my calm. And in that instant, I realized what Aristotle whispered long ago. He who has mastery over himself, his mastery over all. Authority is sensed before it is declared. It is felt before it is named. It is the invisible current beneath the surface that shifts perception without a single word. You must understand this. The way you carry yourself, the subtle cadence of your voice, the confident tilt of your chin, the calm intelligence in your eyes, all of it is registering, silently, in the minds of those around you. Men, colleagues, lovingly respond to it instinctively. And here's the most delicious part. They don't even realize it's happening. Their desire to follow, to please, to understand, it arises naturally, unconsciously, because you have mastered a truth most women overlook. Authority is not imposed. It is embodied. So, the question you must ask yourself is, how can you cultivate that presence, that energy, that subtle but undeniable command? And I will tell you, because it's something I have lived, refined, and observed in every room, every interaction, every fleeting glance. It starts with self-possession. How you hold your gaze when someone interrupts, how you move when someone challenges, how you breathe when someone expects a reaction. These micro-actions, these almost imperceptible gestures, are the language of authority. And when you speak it fluently, they respond, whether they consciously want to or not. And while you absorb this, I want you to consider, are you giving your energy away, chasing validation, bending for attention, or are you cultivating the stillness, the confidence, the allure that makes your authority sensed before a single syllable escapes your lips? Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below the first moment today where you will carry yourself differently. Because the more intentional you are about this, the faster you will see it reflected in every interaction, every glance, every subtle shift in energy. Now, let's go deeper, because this is where the psychology of influence gets intoxicating. Men, by nature, are wired to recognize dominance, competence, and authority almost instantaneously, even before the brain fully rationalizes it. And as women, we have a profound advantage, because authority in a female is rarely challenged in the way male authority is mysterious. It is magnetic. It is paradoxically inviting yet untouchable. I remember a particular dinner, candlelight flickering softly, the hum of conversation in the background, and him, the man who prides himself on his assertiveness, leaning closer without realizing why. Drawn in, captivated, curious, I had not smiled excessively. I had not flattered. I had not offered any hint of eagerness. I simply existed, composed, grounded, intelligent, and aware. And the power was instantaneous. It is the paradox that creates subtle obsession. When a woman is calm, unshakable, aware of her own worth, and yet lightly playful, lightly teasing, men feel compelled to engage, to anticipate, to seek her approval, all while believing they are in control. And this is not manipulation, it is mastery. It is knowing that your presence, your energy, your subtle cues, are more persuasive than any argument, any display of beauty, any attempt at charm, You must start noticing how people respond to your energy. Who leans in when you speak? Who softens when your gaze meets theirs? Who subtly mirrors your posture? Your gestures? Your breathing? These are clues. These are invisible signposts that your authority is recognized, felt, even before it is named. And as you practice this, you will refine your power, learning exactly how to modulate your presence, how to project warmth while maintaining authority, how to allow curiosity to bloom without conceding control, how to be seen, noticed, yet slightly elusive. This is the art of feminine dominance, the elegant mastery that every woman can cultivate, and it is the reason men sense her authority first. And while you master this, I want you to comment your most powerful realization here. Share your first experience where you noticed your energy shift, someone's behavior. Because as we refine our presence together, we grow unstoppable, magnetic, and deeply irresistible. Every subtle glance, every soft laugh, every calm assertion becomes an instrument in your repertoire, a way to command without demanding, to lead without confrontation, to create influence that feels natural, inevitable, and deliciously enchanting. And finally, let me leave you with the ultimate truth, the one that most women overlook, but which changes everything. Authority is not about power over others. It is about mastery over yourself. And mastery is sensed before it is spoken. Men, colleagues, friends, lovingly feel it in the pause of your voice, the calm of your energy, the light in your eyes that says you are unshakable, worthy, and aware. And when you embody this fully, every interaction becomes a demonstration of influence. They will lean in, they will seek, they will observe, and they will be subtly obsessed, not because you demanded it, not because you flaunted it, but because you radiate it naturally, effortlessly, unavoidably. This is why power, when wielded with grace, intelligence, and awareness, is magnetic. This is why women who understand themselves, who own their presence, who move through the world with calm authority, are sensed first, followed instinctively, and remembered forever. So, as you step into your day, your next conversation, your next encounter, remember that your authority is already felt before a word is spoken, before a smile is given, before a gesture is made. And as you practice this mastery, go ahead, subscribe if you haven't already, turn on notifications, and comment below the single tactic from today's lesson that you are most excited to embody. Because once you feel this power, you will be unstoppable, magnetic, and untouchable. This is your moment to command presence, to be seen, to be remembered, and to let the world sense your authority first before anything else. And when that happens, you will understand the intoxicating truth that feminine power is not requested. It is experienced, and it is never ignored. And let me be brutally honest with you, what separates a woman whose presence commands attention from the rest is not her dress, her beauty, or the conversations she has. It is her awareness, her emotional precision, and the subtle mastery of every gesture, every glance, every pause. I've watched women with the most conventional charm, the most dazzling beauty, completely ignored, while another, seemingly ordinary, walks into a room and shifts the energy without a single word, without any effort at all. That, my sisters, is the invisible psychology of authority at play. You see, men are wired to respond to signals long before they rationally understand them tiny cues in your posture. The way you anchor your gaze, the gentle tilt of your chin, the calmness that radiates from your spine to your fingertips. And when you cultivate that awareness, you don't just walk into a space, you glide. You don't just speak, you resonate. And every interaction, every eye contact, every shared smile becomes a moment where your influence is registered in ways they cannot articulate, a magnetic pull they cannot resist. I remember a particular evening at a gala, chandeliers glowing softly, laughter echoing in the room, and I was surrounded by people who thought they were in control. And yet, as I stood calmly, observing, listening more than speaking, the room subtly shifted attention, tilted toward me, Questions lingered in the air before being asked. Subtle gestures of deference and curiosity unfolded. It wasn't charm. It wasn't flirting. It wasn't strategy. It was simply presence, confidence, and an unshakable sense of self-worth. And when you realize that this is the language men recognize first, you can begin to wield it consciously, deliberately, without drama, without effort, without giving your power away. Authority isn't announced, it is absorbed, sensed, and respected naturally. And as you internalize this, you will notice your own energy shifting, how you carry yourself differently, how your calm radiates even under pressure, and how those around you, whether they admit it or not, bend subtly to the rhythm of your presence. And while you reflect on this, go ahead and comment below. The next time you enter a room, what micro behavior will you consciously alter to project this magnetic authority? Because awareness precedes mastery, and mastery precedes influence. It's the chain reaction of feminine power in action. And once you feel it, you cannot unfeel it. You cannot go back to being unaware. You cannot go back to reacting to their energy before controlling yours. And in that moment, you understand why some women are remembered long after they leave a room, why their influence lingers, why they are sensed, even feared. In the most exquisite, magnetic way, let's talk about subtle dominance, because this is where psychology meets philosophy, where awareness becomes irresistible, and where influence becomes inevitable. Subtle dominance is not about aggression, loudness, or arrogance. It's about timing, patience, and observation. It's the quiet smile, the soft laugh, the deliberate silence that makes them lean in, trying to decode, trying to understand, trying to earn access to the energy you effortlessly exude. I remember mentoring a younger friend, showing her the difference between reacting and responding. We practiced walking into a room, holding our gaze for the briefest second, longer than socially expected, pausing slightly before answering a question, smiling just enough to intrigue, but not enough to satisfy. By the end of the evening, she noticed men leaning in, subtly mirroring her movements, asking questions they didn't realize they wanted to ask, softening their tone, and being drawn to her naturally because she held her space, anchored her presence, and allowed her energy to speak before her words ever did. And that is what high-level feminine psychology teaches us. The world responds to certainty, to calm, to intelligence, to presence, before it responds to beauty or charm. It's why, when you truly master your energy, men sense your authority first. They recognize, on an instinctive level, that you are unshakable, that you are a force, that you are someone worth noticing, worth listening to, and yes, worth subtly craving. And as you apply this in every part of your life, your relationships, your career, your social circles, you will notice an unmistakable pattern. Respect, attention, and desire converge quietly around you. And when you experience that magnetic response, you realize that authority is not about controlling them, it's about owning yourself so completely, so fiercely, that their reactions become almost inevitable. And while you refine this, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below the moment where you first felt someone subconsciously respond to your calm mastery. Because acknowledging it reinforces your own awareness and accelerates your journey toward complete feminine influence. The more conscious you become of your presence, the more effortless your subtle dominance, the more profound the attraction, curiosity, and quiet obsession you can cultivate, all without ever giving away your power.